This is fabric for interiors. I'm recording this lecture. We will have these weekly on Monday as a live stream. Each live stream will be recorded where you can review if you have any questions about the material. Our class is organized as follows. We have a Canvas page. The home page is the syllabus. Under that is the Cisco WebEx. This is where you went to access the meeting if you wanted to attend the live stream. This is also where you will go if you want to find the recordings of each week's live stream. Be sure to watch for announcements. There are announcements like I sent out today that I'm recording on a Friday versus a Monday. And then each week's class information is found under modules. This week we will go over the textile industry and fibers properties. You'll have 2 assignments called activities this week: research project, new textiles, and a project about understanding and finding fabric distributors. You'll have a quiz on the textile cycle and fiber properties. Each week the assignments are due on the following Sunday night at midnight. So back to the home page. Please find the syllabus for fabrics for interiors for fall 2020. This just tells about when I have virtual office hours, 10 to 11, and then I will do the live stream at 11 o'clock. Following that, 11 to 12. Here's a list of the course description and course competencies for the class. These are assigned and considered by the district. So the goal is if you take a class at any of our campuses that offer interior design, whether you take a class at Phoenix College or at Scottsdale College, that you will have access to the same deliverables. We do have a textbook requirement for this class. We're moving from an in-person class to an online class, and I personally feel that it is very important to have access to the actual textiles. So the book that I selected for this semester is called The Swatch Reference Guide for Interior Design and Fabrics by Deborah E. Young. And in a moment, I'll go over that textbook. The textbook includes physical samples. Most of you probably have already received the textbook. You'll purchase the hardback copy through the bookstore or from other retailers. This is offered through Bloomsbury. Required materials and technology. Required materials for this class include the textbook and scissors. I'm going to show you what pinking sheared scissors look like so you can see what those look like and the benefits of those working with textiles, and some double-sided tape or a stapler. I've provided a class calendar for the semester. Here you can look to see what we're doing each week and what the deliverables are. I know that some of you are a planner, you're very busy with work, family, school, so I provide a calendar for this class so you can just see the deliverables. I also want to bring to your attention that we have a new certificate program. The certificate program is in interior design, upholstery, and soft goods. So for those of you who don't know, here at Phoenix College, we do have this wonderful interior design program. We just built a new lab, a virtual lab as well. And we also have a separate building that we offer upholstery classes and soft goods production classes. It's here where you can get a certificate in upholstery and soft goods. So if you like designing window treatments and headboards and pillows, and you want to learn how to sew and get those skills, I recommend looking into our program, and you can contact me and I'll put you in contact with the instructor. This is a great sub-career within interior design. The class structure for each week is as follows. You begin by going to the week's module. So this week you went to week 1. You'll find readings. I will provide some readings online as well as in your textbook. The readings from the textbook do fall in line with what's presented in the lectures. So we all have different learning styles. Some of you will like to come on these live streams and listen to the instructor. Others of you will like to go to the textbook or the lectures. But each week, if you want to follow our process, you should do the readings, then review the lecture, take the online quiz, and then do the activities. Throughout the semester, you will be using the following resources to order free online samples. So I'm going to go over this in a minute, but you have the opportunity to order from Smith & Noble, the Shade Store, Pottery Barn, Knoll.com, Knoll Textiles. You're able to order some samples from them. They are mailed to you for free, and I tried them all out over the summer, and you should get those samples within a week. Some of them came like in 3 days. So a great source to get some free samples throughout the class, since we don't have access to our wonderful textiles resource library, but at least you'll be able to, get some different samples other than what's in the textbook. We're going to move to modules, and this week's first lesson, after I review the textbook and give you an idea of what some of your samples will look like. All right, so here's what your textbook will look like. I'm sorry, this is the second camera I purchased this summer, and I can still see that it's quite blurry. But this is the textbook, and when you receive it in the mail, you will receive just in a package a bunch of swatches. If you haven't done this already, I recommend going through the swatches step by step and attaching the appropriate swatch, swatch 82, to the pages in the back of the textbook. So go ahead and open up your binder, put in these pages, and that's where you can attach the samples. And that way they don't get out of order. And as we move through them throughout the semester, we'll go ahead and push those to each chapter that we're working with. So if you noticed, instead of gluing down my samples, I have go ahead. Well, hello, we have someone on today. I went ahead and I'm just attaching the samples with a stapler. I like this because I like the samples to be free and just loose on my journal. That way I can feel it and kind of pleat it and just experiment with the textile. I know that they look really nice all glued down, and that's fine if you've done that already. But this is why I use a stapler and staple them on. It's so that I have a tendency to do this with my textile. At the front of the book are your readings. So under the modules, you'll have readings. And again, I understand that this is blurry, but I'm hoping that you have your textbook with you. I'll give the assigned pages, which are located on the bottom, that you should read for that week. Another great thing about this is that in each chapter, you'll see this indication of a woven textile, and you'll get an acknowledgement about which swatches we'll be using in this section. So for example, on page 6, we're studying the language of textiles. We're looking at basic definitions surrounding textiles. And you'll see here that they're telling you which swatches to look for. So this is great. And so you're not just reading or listening to me record about textiles. You're actually going to be able to then touch, feel, experience the textiles. So for this chapter, we're looking at samples or swatches 1 through 4. And so what I have you do is bring those samples to the end of that chapter. All right. So here is sample swatch number 1 and swatch number 2. So what they're giving you here is, and they describe it, is a raw fiber. So a raw cotton fiber. So for those of you who live around Chandler or Gilbert, or maybe out by Litchfield Park, you might still see cotton fields. And in our cotton fields, you'll see actual cotton growing. Even around Scottsdale Community College, they still have cotton growing around there. And so this is the example of the raw cotton fiber that is then spun into a yarn. I'm missing a swatch of polyester. Polyester isn't spun, but rather, oh yes, I have a little sample there. It doesn't come from a plant, or it doesn't come from an animal. It comes from a source like petroleum. And it is extruded and then spun into a yarn. From swatch 3, from the fiber to a yarn, yarn is then woven to create this grayish goods or this basic fabric. So those are samples 1 through 4. So again, great textbook. Go ahead, if you haven't done that yet, place your samples in the back, and we'll begin to move them to each chapter as you go forward. The book also has assignments at the end of each chapter. So those are the studies that we'll do that are your assignments. So your first activity that's in your journal is to go ahead and research new textile technologies. So because we're not in an in-person class and I don't actually get to see your journal and check it off that you've done it, I ask you just to take a picture of your journal entry, or each week I also attach a template that you can type in online and then just send in. So you'll send those in this week and we'll go over those. But that's your book. I hope you enjoy it. There are some exercises in your textbook that require additional samples. So this is kind of a trust factor. I'm going to have you order your samples, and in about a week they'll arrive and you'll add them to your journal. So when you turn in your assignment, you're probably just going to send me a picture or your order form. You're not going to actually have your samples available, maybe, because Pottery Barn's pretty quick. But if you don't have them right away, don't panic. I just want to know that you've ordered your samples and that eventually it'll end up in, I call this your journal study. So here are just some samples. So Pottery Barn is owned by the same company as West Elm, is owned by the same company as Williams-Sonoma Home. So these are swatches that you can go pick up down at your local Pottery Barn, West Elm. But, we're in quarantine. We're trying to socially distance. So if you don't want to go down and pick up fabrics, I completely understand. Go ahead and just order free samples online. And this is what you'll get. Here I have a sample from West Elm. This is color Indigo. It's a combination of 78% polyester and 22% linen. You'll learn about that. This is a small swatch. 83% polyester, 17% cotton. Let's see what Pottery Barn has. This is polyester and linen. So you're going to learn what the difference is between a synthetic fiber like polyester and a natural fiber like linen in this class. So those are all from some of our local places or that you can order online. These are from Smith & Noble. I've used these for model homes. They design mainly window coverings and some things for your home. So this is a great source to purchase things like cotton samples, linen samples. So you can use that company as well. And that was posted on the homepage, and we'll go over that a little more throughout this semester. I also put down Knoll Textiles. Knoll Textiles will be Knoll. If you've taken history of interiors, you know what a great company Knoll is for furniture. Well, they also have Knoll Textiles, and this is the size sample that you will receive. It's free, and I received it from Knoll these like within 4 or 5 days. This is a commercial textile, meaning it's suitable for hotels and offices. So we'll learn a little bit more about that and how to read labels. For your final project, you're going to be, and I will fix that this is the wrong direction. I will fix that going forward. For your final project, you're going to do a historical study, and you're going to be able to order 5 exquisite fabrics from Kravet. Kravet does have a showroom located here in Phoenix, Arizona, on 68th Street and Thomas. So again, if you feel safe, you can always go to Kravet, and they allow students to check out for free, and you do not have to return 5 free samples. So your final project, you can use Kravet for those 5 exquisite fabrics that you can either go to the showroom or order online. And then you can supplement the textiles through other vendors. But I really do hope that we don't have to do a digital materials board for our final project. I'm really hoping by the end of the semester, we're all getting familiar enough with textiles that you can actually work with them and order the correct textile for the appropriate. How does it look? How does it function? How does it make it feel? How does it relate to style, culture, history, and place? All things that we consider as interior designers.